Over the course of this year, you may have heard shipping costs being mentioned in the news. This is because shipping costs have been rising steadily since last year, but recently there has been a particularly dramatic increase. Freight costs have soared to $15,800 per 40-foot freight container. This is a whopping tenfold increase on pre-pandemic levels, and a 50% increase since last month, according to data provider Freightos. We may be inclined to brush this off, as it has not yet had a noticeable impact in our daily lives, but there is good reason to be concerned. Freight forwarders have branded this as one of the biggest threats our economy faces at the moment, and its impact is only just starting to bite. So in today's video, we will be looking at why there has been a rise in shipping costs, and what it could mean for you. To start off, what are the reasons for this dramatic increase in shipping costs? Shipping costs began rising in the middle of last year after consumers began to adjust to the coronavirus. Right after the outbreak of the pandemic, demand for goods sank and carriers cut sailings accordingly. However, this was then closely followed by a massive surge in consumer demand from ordering products online. Lockdown consumers started to spend more on consumer durables for home improvement, furniture, and home office products. This led to a boom in manufacturing and an increase in demand for finished products and materials to construct them, which were transported by shipping carriers. But as shipping carriers scrambled to meet the soaring demand, this led to logjams in the world's key shipping routes. This was exacerbated by the Suez Canal blockage in March. The shipping congestion has knock-on effects. Delays mean that containers are simply not available for the next journey, which limits the supply of available freight containers. The congestion is particularly evident in the world's ports, where ships now have to wait for much longer to be unloaded. For example, in the port of Los Angeles, this means that ships have wait times increased from 2 days to 6. Due to this, ports now operate more as massive storage facilities than transport terminals. In other words, the mismatch in demand and supply of freight containers has led to their price skyrocketing. With few alternatives to ocean freight and fierce competition to book limited containers, the cost has risen to nearly 800% since the start of this year. The emergence of the more contagious Delta coronavirus variant has worsened delays in ports, where much of the shipping congestion is focused. Ports have been rendered less efficient due to the continued need for social distancing and reduced staff due to Delta coronavirus outbreaks among longshoremen and women. Virus outbreaks have also led to some key ports in China having to partially shut down. For example, in May, the Yantian terminal in Shenzhen had to close down for 3 weeks, while earlier this month, the partial shutdown of Ningbo Zhoushan reduced the port's capacity by a fifth. The reduced capacity and efficiency of ports due to the Delta variant has therefore increased unloading delays and has constrained container supply even further, which in turn drives shipping costs even higher. In preparation for the Christmas shopping season, manufacturers and retailers usually stock up on products and place orders on freights around late summer. This leads to higher traffic than usual and is therefore known as a peak season for container shipping. But due to the existing bottlenecks, this means that the traffic piles on, and the reduced supply of freight has caused fierce competition for containers, which in turn drives costs even higher. So why should you be concerned about this? As we mentioned in the beginning of the video, the impact of the rising shipping costs will only now start to bite. Goods manufacturers and retailers have been resisting passing on these costs to their customers, but with the peak season in full swing, they may no longer have a choice. Consumers can therefore expect elevated prices from November onwards during Christmas shopping, especially in low-cost bulky goods such as toys and furniture. The shipping delays also cause product shortages in a variety of items, from semiconductors used in electronic products, fireworks, chicken, and Starbucks products. This means that as a consumer, you may also start to notice certain items missing from your favorite retailer's shelves. The rising shipping costs are also causing grief for business owners. Raising consumer prices and product shortages is sure to mean some lost profits, as consumers will always look for alternatives. However, the impact will be disproportionately worse for smaller businesses. Bigger businesses can place larger orders, and therefore can negotiate better shipping rates with this leverage. Smaller businesses do not have the same negotiating power, and therefore are forced to accept more expensive carrier contracts, which they can only renegotiate every 9 to 12 months. Carriers can also charge premiums during peak seasons, which leaves small businesses at their mercy. At the end of the day, however, all competitors are currently in the same boat, and may all have to pass costs on to consumers to some extent so as to maintain profits. With demand still high and the persisting supply chain issues, the disruption is not predicted to end until the first quarter of 2022. As always, thank you for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, please consider leaving us a like, comment, and subscribing for more great content.